Hello, my friends. Welcome to another Pick a Card reading. Today's question that we are focusing on is, what do your angels want you to know? What have they been maybe trying to tell you, or what signs have they been trying to give you? So this is going to be deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. So take a moment. I'm going to start jumping in, so if you want to pause until you know which deck you want to choose, go ahead and pause and then hit replay, and then I'll have timestamps for you at the bottom. But we're going to go ahead and start with deck number 1. What do your angels want you to know? What have they been trying to tell you? Okay, so for those of you who picked this deck, the first thing that I heard in my head as I reached for the deck was January. So January seems to be, maybe for some of you, again, this is a general reading, January seems to be a time where maybe something is changing or something is shifting. Maybe you've been waiting on something in January and that's when it's coming in. I am recording this video. I am posting it September of 2018. I'm not sure when you're going to come upon it or watch it, but I'm hearing January as like a big month for some of you. So they're telling you to shuffle 5 more times, and then we're going to lay out some cards and we're going to see what the message is for you all. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Actually, also, the fact that 5 is coming in is also a message. The number 5. 5 is basically telling us that you might be going through some karmic shifts or changes. You may be ending some toxic relationships for some of you. Some of you may have really been beginning to work on your health. Maybe you've been under a lot of stress, and so you haven't been getting enough rest and sleep, and you haven't had time to put like healthy food in your body, and you're beginning to make yourself a priority, and you're beginning to take care of yourself. Okay, I also pulled out 5 cards. So what you have going on, for those of you who picked this, you've been through a lot and you've shown how strong you are. This is Goddess of Strength. So they're trying to encourage you and to remind you that whatever is happening now, a lot of you, even though you might be on hard times, a lot of you have been through worse. And I'm getting the sense or feeling that this may be the final few bumps for some of you, the final few like wrinkles that need to be ironed out, that you're closer than you realize, you're closer than you know to your goal, and not to give up now. What I'm hearing to say is that you didn't come this far for nothing. You didn't come all this way to just all of a sudden have everything fail or fall apart now. To trust and to know that you will get through this. For some of you, it's not even about like going through hardships. For some of you, you're very afraid because you're being called to be more noticed, or coming into the public eye in some way, taking a leadership role, being seen. Maybe some of you have anxiety about like being inside, or like you feel more comfortable being a homebody. Maybe you have anxiety about being like out in public with other people, and maybe you're really trying to like, begin dating or focus on your career in some way. And so that might be this huge like hurdle for some of you, to just be out and about around people and being seen. And a lot of you are going to be overcoming that, and this is just reminding you you're stronger than you realize. The next message here is, grounding, having to ground, having to be in nature. This is going to help with clearing out the confusion in your head. You might have 100 different ideas coming in at once. You may not sure which direction you want to be going in. You may be feeling a trillion billion emotions right now, but this is reminding you to ground yourself. Maybe spend time getting fresh air as often as you can, even if it's just kind of opening up a window during the day for a little bit and letting air circulate, letting sunlight into your home. If you can go for a walk, go for a walk. And they're telling me to tell you guys, don't like feel like you have to go wandering off into the wilderness, because number 1, it's not necessary. Number 2, depending on where you live, it might not be the safest idea. I mean, you might live in a part of the world where like you have forests and things very accessible to you, Like, I'm in the United States, and I know in some states there are homes where you can just kind of wander off into your backyard, and before you know it, you're like in the woods. They're saying don't go doing anything that extreme, because it's not necessary and it's not safe. You don't know like what you're doing, so like don't go wandering off into some unsafe situation. But even if it's as simple as maybe just during the day taking a walk down the street and like noticing the trees and stopping near a tree for a little bit, or going to the park or somewhere safe, obviously somewhere where you're not like out in the middle of nowhere, but just try to interact with nature, even if it's getting a house plant and being like near a house plant and watering it and caring for it. Whatever you're able to do on your level, and whatever you're able to do in terms of whatever is accessible to you. You don't have to go to extremes, but they're wanting you to spend time connecting with the earth and with nature. That's going to be very healing for a lot of you. Angel of Expression, again, it's really funny that this card is coming up, because one of the things that was coming in is some of you that chose this deck, you've been very tempted to hide. Maybe it is anxiety. Maybe you have a social anxiety. Maybe it's more of like an emotional or a psychological process that makes it difficult for you to be around other people. Some of you just may be highly intuitive and very empathetic, so it might be very hard for you to be around others and absorb their emotions. And some of you have just been really hurt, like really, really hurt. And so it might be scary or difficult to be around other people. And this is saying that, it might take some vulnerability. I'm seeing that this naked figure here. And to me, sometimes naked can also be like vulnerable. So you might almost feel like you're naked, like going out into the world or letting yourself interact or speaking up or making yourself known. It may feel very vulnerable and it may feel very uncomfortable, but it's also being very free. Right? It's also being very free. And so this is saying, speak your truth and express yourself clearly. You have your wings, you're safe, you can always fly away. So basically there's a lot here happening in terms of you being seen for who you really are, like being the authentic you, opening up, expressing your wants and needs. And it may feel a little bit vulnerable, but it's also going to feel very freeing. And I think once you get a taste of that light, it's going to be very difficult to pull back into that darkness or that isolation. Conflict resolution. So some of you may also be having a really hard time, because we said 5, and 5 could be about, like I said, ending toxic relationships. It could be about, ending toxic soulmate relationships even. So it could be romantic as well. It could be friends and family. It could be a toxic job or pattern or cycle, or something toxic even that you've been doing to yourself. Maybe you've had a very unhealthy coping mechanism which really hurts you, even though it gives you some form of release. It's very harmful to you. And some of you are coming very close to being able to completely and totally heal that and to find healthier coping mechanisms. But here you have God of conflict resolution. So whatever is happening, you guys are going to get a lot better about being able to remove yourself from the situations that are triggering you and move away from the situations which are harming you, or that are making it difficult for you to live your life or to be the authentic you, or to treat yourself kindly or to be loving towards yourself. We have this like whole misconception sometimes when it comes to standing up for ourselves and being an assertive person and healing and like ending bad behavior from others. And sometimes we feel like, we imagine something out of a movie, like you're gonna go stand up to them and tell them off and put an end to it once and for all. And it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes it's not even safe to do that, depending on how toxic the person is, right? Sometimes you have people that leave a very abusive relationship and they just kind of have to leave at a time when their partner's not around, when they like went out to the store or they went to work or something, because that's the only safe way to get out. Sometimes in some situations, you can't confront the person. You can't lay down the law with them. You can't stand up for yourself because they're very unstable and they're not safe. So I think for some of you, you're really walking away, or you're coming up with a plan, and you're finding a way to get out of that really scary situation without having harm come to you. Your angels are helping you get out of the situation in a smart, wise, discreet way. So, pray, call on them to help you, call on them to guide you, pray, ask your higher power to help you and to send the angels to protect you and to give you wisdom and to send you to the right people and places for help, whether it's some kind of organization, if it's some kind of shelter or halfway house or law enforcement. Get the appropriate people behind you as you're preparing for those stages. For other ones of you who maybe don't have something quite that serious that you're leaving behind, it could just be maybe you have unhealthy coping mechanisms, whether it's like drinking or drugs or alcohol or behaving in a reckless way towards yourself or harming yourself some way physically or emotionally, because you feel that it's giving you release. For some of you, you're going to get very clear about what your triggers are, and you're going to be able to avoid those triggers, right? It's not about, well, I'm strong, so that means that I'm going to deal with all of these triggers, and they're not going to faze me, and I'm just going to be all completely and totally good because I'm so strong, and nothing is going to bother me. That's not what strength is always, I think for a lot of you, it's just figuring out what the triggers are and removing those triggers from your life or avoiding them, and then you're really going to be able to start, coming out of this cage that you might have felt that you've been in for a while. So then your outcome here is Angel of Relaxation. How beautiful is that? We see this whole up and down process. We see these big decisions. We see these things that might feel very scary or make us feel very, very vulnerable. But as we go through this process, we have Angel of Relaxation kind of like as a result. So letting go of the desired outcome, and you will get what you want. So you're going to have this, peace. You're going to have this security. But what your angels are saying, again, stay in your prayer, stay in your spiritual connection, know that your angels will never, ever, ever give you any advice which would cause you to hurt yourself or hurt other people. Your angels will only give you advice which is beneficial and helpful and loving and healing, right? So some of you may even be reaching out to some kind of spiritual teacher or mentor, and they're going to be helping you for some of you. But what this card is reminding you is don't let your need for perfection to take over, and don't overanalyze exactly how this journey has to pan out. Take the steps that you're being guided to take. Take the steps that are in the right direction, and let things unfold. Sometimes we think, well, I'm not going to heal until that other person says that they're sorry and they admit that they're wrong. Unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't happen. So you have to let that go. That's an example of letting a desired outcome go. Focus on you and what you need to do to get to your stability, your safety, your happiness, even if it's just practicing being happy in the moment with whatever tiny small shred of happiness is available in that moment. But to just, let it go, let it flow, and, let what's meant to be come to you. So I hope that helps for those of you who chose this deck. We're going to go ahead and jump into deck number 2. And we'll see what message we have here with deck number 2. Deck number 2. And this is the Mary Queen of Angels. For this, I'm getting 7. So I think those of you who were drawn to this deck, it's really a time of intuition, trusting your intuition. Messages are coming to you at this time. And maybe you feel like you don't have the full picture or all the pieces to the puzzle of some current situation. So we'll see what we have coming up for those of you who chose this deck. You have sobriety, okay? Some of you are like, what? I've never drank, I've never smoked, I've never done drugs a day in my life. This totally doesn't apply to me at all. Sobriety, I mean, it may not be you. It may be that you're dealing with somebody that has some kind of issue, and that might be making your life difficult. You know, like maybe you're in a relationship with somebody who has some kind of addiction going on. But even if it's not addiction in the way that we think of addiction, it could also be other coping mechanisms, which could be very negative. You know, it could be gambling, it could be being addicted to being in a relationship, it could be, you know, being addicted to the adrenaline we get when there's drama in our life. It could be, you know, like being a shopaholic, it could be being a workaholic, it could be all kinds of things. Anything that you're doing to numb yourself or to disconnect. So for some of you, you may have already been working towards like not doing that. Like maybe some of you are even, I feel some of you have even been consciously working on being more present and being more self-aware and being in the moment. And so as that's happening for some of you, you may feel very uncomfortable in your own skin. You may feel like there's a lot of really intense emotions that are coming up, but this is a part of kind of like not numbing yourself. So you're being asked to ride out the wave and know that, you know, your mind will be more clear as you're not numbing yourself, and you're going to be able to focus and concentrate and make better decisions. For some of you who are dealing with someone who is not sober or who is fighting and trying to be sober, don't take their actions as anything you can change. Don't feel like, okay, well, if I create a stress-free life for this person, if I make sure that the home environment is perfect and everything is clean and in order and they have enough to eat, and I'm, you know, waking them up on time and helping them and reminding them when they've got to be at work and reminding them when bills need to be paid, and if I just make everything perfect, then they're going to be able to heal. You know, this person might lash out at you. This person might not appreciate that about you. And their sobriety may be a journey that they have to go between themselves and their higher power and finding their higher power. And they may not be in a clear mind. So they may not have the logic and the reasoning to even appreciate what you're doing for them. They may not have the logic and the reasoning to realize that, you know, maybe like they're behaving in a way which is hurtful to you. So don't take these things personal and hand this person over to their guardian angels. You can pray for them, you can light candles for them, but don't take it up as like something you have to do or you have to fix. This is their journey, and the only way they're going to get better is by making their connection with the divine. You can't help them do that. You can only focus on your connection and your clarity. Your next card is to be strong. I pull myself up and do what needs to be done. So you may have experienced a lot of pain, or you may have experienced a lot of disappointment, and now is kind of the time to focus on what needs to be done and in taking care of you. Some of you may have children which are in the picture, or some of you may have to be doing some inner child work or inner child healing to help you through the situation and moving forward. But all in all, it feels to me like it's gonna be more about maybe you've been doing too much for other people and taking care of everybody else, and your ship's been sinking, and now it's time to keep your ship afloat. Now it's time to focus on you and put all of that rescue energy into you and your life, and potentially even for any minors that may be involved, any children that may be involved. The focus is going to turn on you, okay? And on any kids, if there's kids in the picture, it's going to be about you. It's going to be about you doing what you need to do to recover or to help yourself or to get in a better situation, whether it's financially, emotionally, romantically, spiritually, or all of the above. You can make it and you will make it. but it's only going to happen as you're taking one step at a time, doing what needs to be done. You're not going to get it done, everything overnight. So just take it piece by piece, step by step. And before you know it, all of the pieces will be done. All of the steps will have been taken, and you're victorious and where you're where you wanted to be. But it's not going to happen all at once. So don't have crazy expectations of yourself, and take it moment by moment. So your card here now is joy. Enjoying the moment. I am giving thanks to God for my life. So there may be a lot of things that you've gone through that have been very upsetting or difficult, but you are still here. And you have to remind yourself that there is a reason why you are here. You didn't come this far for nothing. You didn't come this far to be abandoned or to be left now. You are being helped. And God and your angels want you to see the joy that is available to you in this moment now. It may not be where you want to be. You know, you deserve to have all the joy in the world, and they are working to bring you to it. They are working to connect you with it. But, you know, it's going to happen as you're moving away from these toxic people or toxic experiences, and as you're kind of ascending to higher levels, the joy will increase, the levels of joy will increase, the levels of blessings will increase. And what you can do to help this energy along is to be aware of the joy that is in the moment, and to be joyful for what is available in the moment. And it grows and it magnifies and it ascends, and you will continue rising up levels to bigger blessings and bigger joys. But focus on the joy that is available now. Your outcome here is children. My heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive change for them and me. So for some of you, like I said, some of you may be dealing with kids, and you may be getting out of a bad situation, or you may even just be trying to improve the quality of your life. And this may be what you're holding on to as motivation. This may be kind of what you're able to put your eyes on, you know, put your eyes on the prize, which is going to motivate you and to help you move forward. For other ones of you, it may go a step further. It may be more so where as you're healing and as you're going through this journey, especially those of you who have felt like, you know, why did this happen? Or what was this experience about? Some of you may be working with kids. Some of you may be reaching out and doing some kind of healing work with children, or mentorship with children, or helping children in some way cope with, you know, being born into not so great a situation, or being born into not so great a family. And so for some of you, there's definitely going to be some healing that's coming through that. For some of you, you are going to be working with children, whether it's like as a teacher's assistant, or even as a teacher, or as a, you know, after school program, or babysitter, or caregiver, or something, or daycare, but something which is, you know, having you being around kids, and your angels and guides are putting you on that path. Because working with children is very healing in opening up the heart chakra. I think especially those of you who've been really, really wanting romance and really been wanting love, and because you've been hurt, you know, the heart chakra may be closed up, and being around kids is going to really help open up that heart chakra and prepare you for love, and to prepare you for a bigger love. So for a lot of you, there's going to be a great deal of blessing and healing where it's coming by being around kids or being around children. Some of you may be like just really saying, please, I just want to have kids of my own one day. And this could be a confirmation for those of you that there are children coming into your life, whether it's through conception and, you know, birthing children and raising a family with a healthy, stable partner, or if it's adopting children with a healthy, stable partner, or some of you may just kind of do it on your own without a partner. But for some of you, this could be a confirmation that there's also, you know, a sense of family coming into your life. So I hope that helps you, those of you who picked this deck. We're going to move on to the next deck. All right. And we're going to see what we have happening here with this deck. So I feel like those of you who picked this deck, some of you, not all of you, some of you things have been much better than they have been for a really long time. And you may be feeling like, things are good, but are they going to stay good? Is my luck going to run out? Or like, what's next? What's next for me? So we're going to do 3 more quick shuffles here. And we'll see. I also see a card that like flipped over, so I want to go through the deck and pull that out too. And that might be like a little kind of bonus card here for you guys. I have a feeling it's the release card, but we're going to double check here and see. Where was it? Here it is. I see it. See that? Oh no, it's the Sun card. Even better. Okay, so I just said some of you are just kind of wondering, like, things are better. Are they going to stay better? Is my luck going to run out? And the Sun is really a card about victory. It's about being seen. It's about kind of like you've arrived. Good things are happening. Happy outcome. Have confidence in yourself. New ideas will come that'll help you to continue your success. So this is basically confirmation that you don't have to worry about your luck drawing out. Just keep, practicing, implementing your ideas, okay? Continued action, continued effort will produce continued success, right? So yeah, you are successful, but, ask your angels to continue guiding you and giving you ideas for the next steps and the next things to keep that success going, all right? This is a major arcana card, so it means it comes at a time with a major life change or a crossroads. So whatever you're doing, whatever you've been working on is directly associated with some life lesson you chose to learn in this life, or some life mission or life work, some soul purpose might be connected to whatever it is that you're doing for a lot of you. So here we have, oh, there's the release card. I kept seeing the release card in my head, and I thought the Sun was the release card, but no, here's the release card. Again, look, you have another major arcana. So for some of you, your success is going to be determined by continuing to do some release work. Some of you have released and you've overcome a lot. So I think for some of you, what this card means is, what's happened with some of you is you've finally let go of something. Maybe you were clinging to some like ex or a relationship or a job or like an idea or like a way that you were fantasizing for your life to be, and you've let go of that. And you've, for some of you, maybe you don't even want it anymore, but you're not sure what you want now, and you're just kind of open. You're like, okay, well, now what happens? So this is coming to let you know that you've made some room, that you've cleared out the closet. For some of you, you may have been through hell, and you may have felt like, the universe was coming into your life like a tornado and removing certain things. And it didn't happen because you were being cursed or punished. It was happening to make room for better things, so that you could move on to better things. It's about a transformation that's happening. So for some of you, you're on the cusp of entering into the transformation. For some of you, you've already been through the transformation, and you're just kind of like, now what? So your next card here is Nine of Earth. So this could, again, be success. This, for some of you, is self-employment. Maybe for some of you, you lost a job, or you were having a really hard time finding a job, or, the 9 to 5 just wasn't for you. It wasn't working out for you, and you just realized that you're not built for that kind of work. You're not programmed for that kind of work. Or for some of you, you're taking some life purpose, mission, something that you feel very passionate about, and you're making that your life's work. And you're like, look, if I'm going to work, I need to do something that my heart is invested in. I need to do something where I feel like I'm making a difference. So for some of you, you may have gone on the self-employment route. For some of you, you may be climbing up the career ladder. But Nine of Earth is really a card about having abundance, where you have a lot of really good things in your life and you're beginning to enjoy them. And you may even begin enjoying spending quiet time alone. Like you may even have let go of the idea of like this perfect romantic situation or relationship, or you may even have a partner, but you don't feel like you need to cling to them. You're totally cool going off doing your thing for a little bit, letting them go off do their thing. But with Nine of Earth, it could be like, well, life is stable now, materially it's stable now, but I still feel like something is missing. And so there could be a spiritual or emotional aspect that seems to be absent. And that might be something some of you are struggling with right now. For some of you who are just struggling in general, financially or whatever, this is a card to let you know that things will be getting better as you're taking the steps you're being guided to take, and that, you know, there is financial progress to come, you know, like financial blessing to come or stability to come as you're doing the work. Just keep doing the work and it'll come. So for some of you, if you're wondering, you know, like, hey, I've done a lot of work on myself and I've completely and totally healed myself and I'm in a healthy place now and I'm stable and I don't need anybody to take care of me, I'm handling my own, like, where is my person? Why haven't they come in yet? This card could also be like somebody's kind of watching you from afar, like kind of like the secret admirer type thing, because they see you as really successful or they see you as very happy or very independent and they're not sure how to approach you. I do feel you will get approached over time. You just have to give this person some time to kind of like catch up. So some of you might have somebody that you've even noticing you and you're like, what's going on? When is this person gonna, suck it up and step up to me? Like, when are they gonna like be brave, or like when are they gonna have the guts to do this, or be a grown up and talk to me, because I'm tired of them just kind of like looking at me, or I can tell they're into me. Give them time and they'll come around. So your card here now is Knight of Air. This could be a message coming your way. Again, you know how we were saying how maybe some of you have been waiting for somebody to approach you, so maybe that is happening. Or some of you have been wanting to receive news where you just kind of felt like you've been working and nothing has kind of happened just yet. So news is coming. Things are changing. Events that are moving very quickly. Take time to really review your options, the solutions, the things that you want to do for yourself. So you're going to have to make some decisions. If things have been feeling stagnant, they're going to not feel stagnant for very long, right? But your angels and guides are wanting you to pay attention to your thoughts around the process and in like what needs to be done. How to move forward, how you're viewing yourself, how you're viewing the situation. For some of you, it's even how you're viewing success, because I think a lot of you have, who chose this particular deck for this reading, have really crawled out of a pit of despair. I think some of you have come out of a really dark time or a really dark place, or a time when you felt like everything was failing. And so you might have had certain ideas about how you wanted your life to look at how you wanted your life to look once you came out of it. And now some of you are kind of redefining really what you want and where your heart is and what you view as successful. So for some of you, there's going to be some mental clearing happening, or like reevaluating. And our last card up here is Page of Air. So again, this is another card about thoughts. It's funny because one of the rules is any outside noise, any outside factor that comes into the reading is definitely, absolutely going to be a message for the reading. And I hear a little small dog outside that was yapping. I don't know if you guys heard that little doggy yapping just now. But to me, that's a clear message that you might have people coming at you. You might have people who are just kind of like jealous, or they're feeling threatened by some way, and they start barking at you. And this is saying choose your battles, right? Like, you don't really have to go to battle. You don't have to invest your time and energy into arguing back. If you have a little teeny little doggy yapping at you, you don't need to get all threatened and, like get all crazy. You just walk around it, you step away from it. So there might be a conflict coming for some of you, or somebody might be like challenging you in some way, and your angels are saying don't let your fear or don't let your ego pull you into it, because you're above that. Page of Air especially could be somebody who comes at you with some challenging information, doesn't have any tact. They might like just step up and they may say something to you that's true. So for some of you, this could be that as you're having these successes, somebody close to you, a family member or even a romantic partner, might be like, oh, well, don't go thinking you're all great. Don't get all a big head because you still have this wrong with you, or you still have that wrong with you, or, you know, well, you did all this, now why don't you work on this part of your life? And even if they're doing it in a way where they think that they're helping you, it might come off as hurtful. And this is saying, don't get pulled into that energy. Don't get sucked into that energy. Even if it stings because a part of you feels like it's true, remind yourself of how far you've come and give yourself credit for where you're at now, and know that that's like the next thing that you can take on bit by bit and piece by piece. But you've already done so much, so don't let this person take away your joy from that experience. Don't let friends or family or loved ones sabotage you to pull you back into the old sadness, or into feeling defeated, or into feeling like things are hopeless, because there may be people around you that really discredit how far you've come and the progress that you've made, and you've got to learn to shut that out. You've got to learn to just, you know, if it means distancing yourself from them, if it means spending less time with them, even if it means, like, for some of you, I think what's really sad is I think some of you are getting better financially, and you may even be helping out family members, or you may even be, you know, helping care for people with your financial progress, and they may still be kind of like pooping all over your success and talking down at you and discouraging you because they may be jealous in some way. And so it's like, here you are working and helping them and doing good for them, but they're kind of sabotaging you. So for some of you, you may have to get ready to move out of a really negative environment, or like a negative household situation, and you may feel bad because you know that these people depend on you financially, or they need your help financially, but you're not going to be much help financially, because you're not going to be able to function if you have all this sadness, and if you have all of this toxic stuff being put in your head that's like pulling down your progress. You get what I'm saying? So for some of you, it's going to be a sink or swim situation where you may have to kind of save yourself, and you may have to put other people in the hands of their guardian angels or God, or, you know, just ask that they be watched over in some way. But for the sake of your sanity and for your you know, continued success, you may be having to leave. And the sun is actually could also be a card about that, stepping outside, going your own way, right? So for some of you, there's like this new level of independence coming in. So I hope that helps, guys. Comment and let me know what other subjects you would like me to do a choose a card reading on. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and hit notification, please do so. I do once a month love reading for all the zodiac signs. Every single week I do readings for each zodiac sign for what's in store for the week ahead, like just kind of all areas of life. So I really appreciate you guys watching. I know there's a lot of readers on YouTube, so thank you for watching. Let me know if you need a private reading. And, you know, comment and let me know. I will be picking people from the comments periodically. If I'm drawn to someone, I will pull a card for them. But also just comment and let me know what other pick a card subjects you would like to see. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care.